Hi, I'm Dr. Bowder. I'm a pediatric surgeon with ETSU Health. I became a doctor because throughout high school and college, I volunteered at a camp for kids with muscular dystrophy, and I loved working with the kids and interacting with them, but every year their disease would progress, so I pursued medical school to both understand disease processes and then to try to make a difference in patients' lives so that if I ever were to go back to camp, I could make a difference for those patients. I chose pediatric surgery because throughout medical school and residency, I pursued a lot of global health efforts, and I saw there was a huge need for surgeons around the world. And then when I had my first son, he ended up needing an elective surgical procedure. But throughout the process of being pregnant with him and him being an infant, I just couldn't imagine a world where he wouldn't have access to surgical care. So I've made it my lifelong mission to increase access to surgical care for kids both in the US and worldwide. As a pediatric surgeon, I think the most rewarding part is I often get to meet many of my patients and their families right after they're born, and then I get to take care of them and watch them grow and become a member of the community. And I love having them come back to clinic or actually being out like at a playground or a store and seeing my patients and their families. And I love that they're doing well when I see them. My overarching goals for my patients is that they undergo a successful surgery, but throughout that process that we work with both the patient and their families to ensure that they're getting all the care that they need and that we're able to support them both throughout the surgical process and beyond for their both their health needs and any social economic needs they have long term. An ideal day of work for me is starting by rounding on my patients and getting to interact with them and their families, and then doing a couple of successful operations while working with residents and a collaborative team that's focused on pediatric surgical care. It's a day full of teaching, a little bit of laughter, and just overall just enjoying the day and taking care of patients. I think this region is beautiful. I grew up in the Midwest and I'm not used to seeing mountains all the time, and I really love it. And then I think there's a rich culture here in the Appalachian Highlands that I'm excited to learn more about and be a part of. My past education and experiences in medical school and residency, both in global health and my efforts to improve access to care for underserved populations in Omaha, Iowa City, and Milwaukee will allow me to provide more culturally competent and resourceful care for my pediatric surgery patients. Hi, I'm Dr. Bowder. Thanks for spending some time with me, and thank you for choosing ETSU Health.